Hello family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner, and today I am out at the Hancock Homestead. It is the end of August and it is time for the monthly walk around. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's been happening here on the homestead during the month of August. Alright, come on along and join the fun. It is a hot one out here today. Give y'all a peek at the potting shed. Not much has changed. I'm going to be using that apple picker here before too long. It's been too hot to sit out here lately, but I do come in and out once in a while, so it's nice to have it. I threw them some scratch. Yeah, hi girls. Stay down here in the shade where it's cool because it's a hot one out today. Might be putting the brooder house to work next spring. Get some baby chicks going. Alright, so we're at the north end. Alright, so we are at the north end of the vegetable boxes. Sorry about all the weeds. I try to keep on top of them, but man, they just grow back so fast. But our tomatoes are looking good. We do not have any better boys yet. That's what's in these first two. But we have a lot of green ones. And they are starting to turn. So just gotta wait a few more days because they're starting to come on. I will be so happy to finally get to eat a fresh homegrown tomato, Better Boy tomato. Lots of green ones. We're going to have a good heavy crop this year. We just have to wait for them to turn red. See, some of them are getting kind of an orangey red, but I like for them to be a little bit redder. So another day or two we might have a handful. Lots of green ones though. And then the Romas, I picked one full batch, and we do have some more coming on. So I really need to find some time to get out here and pick the second batch coming through. If they come right off in your hands, you know they're ready. Don't want to have to tug. So about another day, and some of these will be ready too. Big batch of basil. I try to get a handful of these cherry tomatoes every day for lunch. They are not the tomato berries, which I like. I did not get my tomato berries in this year, but these little cherry tomatoes that John accidentally picked up. I can't even remember the name. I think it's like Cherry Tomato Sweet 1000 or something like that. They were really good. Not as good as the tomato berries, but still good. I'll lay those right down there. I don't know what to do about all these weeds. I did not put down, well, for one thing, I did not prep my boxes this year like I did before. I just didn't have as much time this year because the year before I had put down cardboard and straw. And they worked really good as a weed barrier. Well, this year I did not put down new cardboard or new straw. I just planted the plants, and as you can tell, it's a weedy mess out here. But luckily, the plants are still growing and they're still producing. This one has lots of little green peppers. But I think these four down here are supposed to be red and orange. And they're still looking green. So I think they have to be left on a little bit longer. And then these, if I remember right, are supposed to be the greens. And they're looking good. So, the cucumbers are done. All that needs to be pulled and black plastic. This year, whenever I clean out the boxes, I'll probably clean out all the way down to the dirt. I'll probably take out all the cardboard that's left, all the straw, anything that's left, and put it in the compost heap and just go all the way back down to dirt. And then put on the black plastic. Alright, but even with all the weeds, we're still getting a lot of good, fresh produce. So, may not be pretty, but it is doing its job. Alright. Playground over there for the kids. It's gotten quite a bit of use this summer when they're not running through the sprinklers. I dug out the water hose because it's been so hot and so dry. I think I'm going to have to give everything a good watering to keep it going through the last part of August here. So here is the cottage garden, hummingbird garden. These cosmos still have not flowered. I don't even see any flower buds on them. So I don't know what's up with those cosmos. But anyway, I usually have a really good stand. I thought I put them in about the same time I do every year, but I'm not seeing a single flower. The zinnias that my grandkids planted, they're looking good. My butterfly bush, I am so happy with them. They really took off and are doing well. And I just love the color of these. This is that Black Knight. See if I can get it where y'all can see it. And it is just beautiful. And the butterflies are loving them. They're loving the zinnias too. The zinnias and the butterfly bush, big hits with the butterflies. Those coneflowers were at their end, so I came out one day and just deadheaded them. These I'm letting go to seed. So I'll be sprinkling those seeds in there to make a bigger, larger planting. I have one One little bitty daylily left. Look at that. Look at her. She is hanging on for the end of it. Isn't she pretty? All the rest of them are gone. I gave 2 big batches to my daughter to put in my grandkids' garden. They needed to be thinned out anyway. This is what that other this is what the other coneflowers were looking like. So I had gone ahead and deadheaded them, and these need to be deadheaded too. But I haven't got around to all of them. Once again, the butterfly bush and the zinnias over here, big butterfly attractors. This is that area where those saucer red coneflowers were, just got overtaken by the powwow berries, so I just pulled them all. And then in the fall, I mean not the fall, in the spring I will come out and do a replanting of those. So these here are some zinnias that I tried from Park Seed. They're supposed to be miniature, what were they called? Miniature something. And I thought that was supposed to be the size of the plant. But as you can tell, they got just as tall as the giants back there. But I guess the flower is not as big. So maybe that's where the name miniature came in. But they have been really big butterfly attractors. So there is zinnia, and they have just been loaded with butterflies this year. My powwow berry coneflowers, as you can tell, they're going to seed. So I am going to come out, I'm going to deadhead those, save those seed heads to put somewhere else. I think I'm going to put some down in the garden gate. The gate garden. I always turn that around. I'm going to take some of these seed heads and put them down in the gate garden. These cardinal red flowers that I put in this year, they have really been worth their money for attracting the hummingbirds. The hummingbirds love them. And since they're native to Missouri, they're going to be very easy to grow and reproduce. My hollyhocks are finished for the year. They're putting out nice new green leaf down there. But as you can see, the flower stem is gone. I'm letting them seed up. And then I'm going to try to spread the seed down there in that area. So the sunflowers are done, but the birds have been in there clearing out all the seeds. That's why I don't put out bird seed in the summer, because I grow sunflowers instead. And as you can see, there's a few seeds left in there, but the goldfinches especially have just been in there clearing those seed heads out. All of my red tiger lilies are finished for the year, but man, they were a beauty while they lasted. Beautiful red tiger lilies in there. And no, my garden is not perfectly weeded, but from what I understand, that's actually a good thing for the insects and the butterflies. So I do leave that cattail grass just grow, unless it's getting in the way of my plants growing themselves. But yeah, I think it's kind of pretty grass, and it's not hurting anything over there in that corner, so I'm just letting it grow. My boxwood have taken off. I did come through and weed out some of this along this fence line, and I put down cardboard and straw to help keep the weeds at bay. And next year I'm going to try to put something in there, either some kind of daylily or iris or something. Same up here. another big patch. Same up here, another big patch that was just blank with weeds. Will either become daylilies or irises. There are some irises there, which, if I can talk John into a little bit of money for my birthday, I would like to get some more irises called His Royal Highness and Eggnog Yellow to put with these because they're reblooming. I don't think these irises are reblooming. Well, actually, I take that back. The purple ones here in the middle are not. They're called an old-fashioned purple. They actually came from my grandmother's house. And they're just an old-fashioned purple. Don't even know the real name. And then on each side of the old-fashioned purples, I have what's called Harvest Memories, I think. And it's a yellow, and they are reblooming. I don't know that they'll rebloom this year because I transplanted them this year. But I'd like to get some reblooming purple ones. And then these are some of the leftover white ones that I had to move. So, and they will be the first to bloom. The white ones are always the first to bloom. All right, and so then as I turn around here, you can see that the apple orchard is over here on the north side of the house. And we have lots of apples coming on. They are not quite ready. It's only the end of August. So these are usually ready the middle of September through the end of October. But yeah, they're looking good. They're loaded. Even with the pruning John did, they are loaded. Going across the road here so I can show you a project I've been working on. So I am trying to get a great big large daylily bed here. I'm just using the orange ditch lilies. My daughter had a whole bunch at her house that needed to be thinned out, so I'm putting them down here. I did have some irises here, but down here at this end they were just getting drowned out by weeds. So I took all of them out and put in a bunch of daylilies, the orange ditch lilies. And then I took the irises that were down there and made a larger iris bed right up here. I think I will be able to get to it easier to weed around it, and that might help. This ditch area is needed, but it's always been a challenge keeping it pretty without so many weeds. So here was a volunteer sunflower. As you can tell, it's near the end. But there is a little butterfly taking advantage of the last flower. A little yellow butterfly on a little yellow sunflower. Then the daylilies, or ditch lilies, that were there. Ditch lilies are just a naturalizing orange daylily that just grow naturally here in Missouri. They're not a tiger lily. You'll hear a lot of people call them tiger lilies. They're just a daylily. I try to refer to them as ditch lilies because they grow in ditches, and that is their nickname. Okay, if you guys remember my little panic episode about John mowing down my trumpet vine, well, you guys were right. It did grow back, and I even have some flowers, which the hummingbirds are taking advantage of. I still have some hummingbirds here in Missouri, and I have seen them down here taking advantage of these tubular red flowers. So, yay. Everything looks so wilty because it's just been so dry. However, there's a bunch of hurricanes. I think there's 2 hurricanes down south. So maybe we'll get some of that moisture moving north up into Missouri. I know, Paulo, are you looking at the gate garden? It's just kind of a mess this year, isn't it? Yeah, it won't always be that bad. I put in some mammoth sunflowers. I think that one got to be my tallest. And the birds have been taking advantage of the seeds. There's a whole bunch more sunflowers planted. I don't know if they'll come to head or not. And then here's another big one. Well, the plant's big, but the sunflower isn't. Anyhow. I don't know what the official name for this grass is. I always call it cattail. It is a hard grass to weed. I mean, you can't hardly pull it up by hand. You have to dig it. And this is some dirt that I had stole from the field to bring up my level. And I got some of the cattail grass in there. I like the cattail grass. It's pretty. Some people probably look at it and go, oh my goodness, what a weedy mess. Now see, I don't like these. I don't like these weeds. For one thing, they're ugly, and for another thing, they have thorns. But, so I'll pull that one out, or after I get some gloves. But the cattail grass, I don't mind. Plus, if I want to get it out, I have to dig it. So I put some zinnias in here, and they did grow. This year, I'm just trying to get my dirt ready. There's another sunflower. If you like a naturalizing garden, sunflowers and zinnias with a few weeds thrown in. And then this bed over here, I don't know. I mean, look at the 2 beds. You have that bed where the sunflowers and the zinnias are growing. And then you have this bed where I don't know what happened. I planted just as many sunflowers and just as many zinnias. But I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that the soil level on this one is lower. So this fall, when we mow all that down and till all that up, I'm going to add some dirt, soil, and raise the level of that bed. And hopefully that will help. Work in progress. A lot of things around here are a work in progress. Just like my grapes. I cannot find any grapes to plant. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Our local nursery didn't have any. I went to order online from a nearby nursery that's too far away to drive to, but still fairly close. They were out. So I'm going to try again next year, and I'm going to try earlier. So over here I put in some more ditch lilies to kind of boost up this little area, and I put down some wood chips to keep the weeds at bay. My peonies are growing, but they are looking really wilty right now. hot. It is hot out here. So I need to get some water on them. Another small bed of ditch lilies over here. I use these ditch lilies in spots that are so weedy and that I want to get naturalized, as they say, without spending a bunch of money. And these ditch lilies I can find in ditches all up and down our road. So I just dig some and transplant them. And then, like I said, my daughter and son-in-law, they had a great big bed of them that they wanted thinned out. So I took some of theirs. Hopefully they'll reproduce and spread next year and get a lot more full in there. So I'll have ditch lilies and not weeds. All right. See all the corn? Surrounded by corn. It is really getting tall. And we're back at the beginning. One of these days, I'll take you guys down to the barn. We haven't been down there lately. Not a whole lot has changed, really. The grandkids like to go in there and play, so maybe one day when they're out playing, I'll show you some of the barn. But that's going to be it for the walk around. It is hot, isn't it, Paulo? Did you know in August it's called the dog days of summer? Yep, but it has nothing to do with it being hot, or you panting, or you being a dog. Nope, has nothing to do with you being a hot dog. It has to do with the constellations. I'll have to put down the information, but if I remember right, it's because during August is when you see the dog constellation in the sky. Yeah. Alright, well, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to know more about what's going on in my corner of the world, be sure to hit that subscribe button to Kim's Country Corner. And just a reminder that I did set up a PayPal link, and it's in the description box. It's also on my homepage. Like I said in one of my videos, I live on a little bit of disability, a whole lot of family love, and just a tiny drop of YouTube, which is getting tinier and tinier. So, any donations to the PayPal account would be greatly appreciated. If you can't, I totally understand. These are trying times for everybody. So, with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye now. So, talk to y'all later. Bye for now. Okay, I have 2 monarchs out here today. See if I can capture them for you. Okay, so there's one. And the other one. Okay, and then the other one, I have to come down to this grouping. And there's the other one.